Welcome, my friends, to the Bob and Brad podcast, produced by Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet. I am Bob, and I'm exactly one half of the Bob and Brad team. Today, I'm joined by Richard Codos. He is the founder and CEO of SleepOvation Mattresses. We're going to talk about their adult mattress and about their baby mattress, but he's also going to give us the inside scoop on the mattress industry overall. So it'll be worth your while. Please welcome along with me, Richard Codos. Welcome to the program, Richard Codos. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I really look forward to this because I get asked all the time about mattresses. And of course, I'm not an expert by any means. And I've got a lot of curiosity about the industry, and who better than you to provide some inside information. So I wonder if you could maybe give me your background first, just a little overview so we know something about you.
Sure. So I started actually with a company making called quilting machines, which are giant machines for quilting the top and sides of mattresses. And developed a bunch of different quilting machines, sold them to everybody in the mattress trade.
Sure.
And we have patents on a whole series of those improvements to quilting machines. Came down the line and came up with an innovation for let me back up. We got involved with a spring making company that did makes springs. Since we made all types of machinery, we also made spring equipment for them. Well, it didn't come long to thinking spring equipment and mattress equipment, started thinking about the springs that are in bedding. Came up with a novel new spring, which is a individual, what was called a variable pressure design spring. So as you lied on that spring, it was soft and then it got harder.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was a pocket coil spring.
When was that done, Richard? When was it done? When did you?
This goes back around 1997. So I'm showing my age if you make me do that. So
I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
So this spring, the concept for this spring was patented. The patents and the company were then bought by a company called Leggett & Platt, which is a conglomerate behind the entire bedding industry, supplying at the time 80-90% of all bedding components. So that's when I then moved in with, I was on 5-year contract that was renewed for another 5+ years. I worked with Leggett & Platt, also designing new equipment for bedding, new springs for bedding, everything bedding involved. That one spring became the basis of some of the Simmons Beauty Rest, their basis on some of their main product.
Sure.
So, over that period of time, I probably was involved in 30 bedding patents, because my name's on 30 bedding patents. Subsequently, now there's a whole bunch of different patents, but 40 patents, give or take. And that's into the US, hundreds worldwide. So I have, without boring you anymore, I have a lot of background in the bedding industry.
We sure do. So do a lot of the mattress companies take advantage of that and use that information? I mean, they buy the patents, or they pay a price to that main company and use the information?
Well, since Leggett supplies the components, basically, and is doing it for 80 to 90% of the industry, effectively, they're buying a product where that patent is underlying.
I see. Gotcha. Well, why don't we get into the nitty and gritty here?
Sure, absolutely.
Can you talk about some of the dirty little secrets of the mattress business?
I won't give away too many, but we can talk about some of the dirty ones.
Sure. Can't wait.
So, if we just talk about online mattresses, there are roughly between 200 to 300 players making online mattresses.
Oh,
you say, oh my God, so many mattress companies. Well, a dirty little secret is that of that, if we were saying, let's round it off, let's say 250 companies, of that, about 240 don't make the mattress. They're just really marketing companies.
Sure.
There's probably 10 or less players that actually make the mattress. And we're talking about major companies in this field. I mean, some of the big guys are doing that. A little dirtier secret to that is that a lot of the ones that are in that business are getting mattresses from overseas. They're Chinese, they're Malaysian, they're Vietnamese. Sure. And I have nothing against products that come from those countries. However, when you're talking about a mattress and you're talking about a supply chain of products where you're going to spend your 30-year life on it, I would highly recommend that you know where those products come from, where those components come from. And, you know, another dirty little secret, a lot of these companies that are overseas that'll show certificates, they can be phony certificates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. And you know, you have to go with a reputable company. You have to go with a reputable USA company.
So, Richard, were you saying that some of the major companies actually don't make their own mattress? Am I
yes,
clear?
in the bed and the box.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm not talking about Serta, Simmons, Tempur-Pedic. I'm talking about all these bed and box companies you see.
Gotcha.
Some of them doing tremendous business. I mean, very large business, and you see it. You know, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
It is.
Most of them, not some of them, you know, close to probably, you know, 98% do not make their own product. They go to mattress manufacturers either in the US or overseas, and they ask it to be labeled, and it's pretty much the same mattress that everybody else has that, you know, they're just rebranding.
So it's all about their marketing angle. Basically.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of tech in that. I mean, you know, to talk about tech, you know, the sad truth is that the mattress that you and I grew up on, that potentially our grandparents or at least our parents grew up on, is the same technology. And even things like the word, you know, hybrid mattress, foam on top of springs. Hello, 100 years ago, that patent existed. 100 years ago, Leggett was supplying components to that. It's just a marketing term.
Sure. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about overseas, especially chemical emissions. You know, Brad and I got a product one time from overseas, and it was a neck pillow, and we honestly we let it air out for 3 weeks, and we still couldn't stand the chemicals. I mean, we just literally couldn't get near it. It never got any better. So, I mean, it's an issue.
It's a huge issue. I mean, you know, if you're smelling it, you know, there's molecules in the air that you're absorbing.
Right.
You know, there's no magic here. I mean, smell is basically, you know, a chemical off-gassing, and you're breathing it in. And it doesn't take, you know, it's no different than if you were breathing in benzene at a gas station. It's not particularly a good thing. I mean, you know, there's a lot of chemicals that go into making up foam, and you for sure want to know where they came from or that certified emissions.
And as you know, imagine taking that in all night long. Oh my gosh, every night.
And look where your nose is. You know, it doesn't move. It's right next to it. I mean, you don't do that during the day. I mean, it's amazing what you're doing at night.
Exactly. So there's certifications for this, but those can be falsified according to you. So it's something you got to be very aware of.
Yeah, I mean, U.S. manufacturers, reputable U.S. manufacturers know. And even reputable U.S. manufacturers that are using overseas products, I mean, I would probably tell you, you know, especially in today's world of broken supply chains, you know, be careful. That's all I can say. It's
sure
if it's coming from some backwoods place, and I'm not picking on China, but you know, once it gets past the Chinese door and it's going backwards in their supply chain, I don't know. I mean, unless you're going to go visit every factory along that supply chain, I have no idea what's in that product.
Right.
At least in the U.S., you have, some pretty good safeguards. But I would just be careful. I mean, if we were talking dirty little secrets, it's one that I would be careful about.
Sure. Do you have some other red flags as a purchaser of a mattress should look for when buying a mattress?
Yeah, again, I mean, there's so much marketing hype, and so much of that is, red flag. I mean, look at certain things. We've got a mattress that, let's say somebody tells you they've got a mattress that cools you all night long. Well, I mean, think about that. The only way to cool somebody all night long is to put in some kind of active refrigeration or air conditioning.
Right.
There's no magic here. Some mattresses have what's called phase change materials on the surface. So it's a similar process to ice melting. If you put your hand on an ice cube, the reason it feels cold is it's changing state, and it's going from solid to liquid, and that's why it feels cold. Well, there's an encapsulation method where you can have phase change materials on mattresses that do the same thing. However, just like with an ice cube, it lasts for about 15 minutes. And guess what? After the 15 minutes, it's doing the exact opposite, storing heat. So, it's a red flag. You're not going to have a mattress that's going to keep you cool all night. Everybody and their brother tells you about their mattress is best for back pain. And,
Sure.
It's not, it's not lying. Maybe there are people that get an improvement from it. Some will, but it's not, it's bottom line, same technology that your parents and you are using. Does some of it work? Yeah. I mean, I've invented some of it, so I'll say some of it works, but there's no magic bullet. Be careful of outrageous claims. Be careful of lifetime warranties. I mean, just think about some of this stuff. Yeah, you can get a lifetime warranty, but there's a good chance that A, the company won't be in business for your lifetime.
Right.
And B, what's warranted will never come up in the first place. So you have to look out for little things like that.
Just going back to the cooling issue, I know that memory foam tends to be warm, and they say they make changes now to cool it off. I mean, basically, they use certain materials on top. That sounds a little.
That's your phase change. So the nature of why memory foam works is memory foam basically you heat up the foam and it contours, which is really nice.
Right.
But just like anything else, there's two major problems with that. Once the contour is established, if you move to another position, the contour doesn't move with you. The second problem is just as you identified, it's a heat problem, is that it's creating an insulator that's now keeping you warm. Now, so what they do is they'll put in gel beads, which are phase change beads, just like we talked about.
Sure.
They'll put in phase change material, same thing. After 15 minutes, guess what? You're not getting cooled anymore. And if anything, it's helping maintain the heat in that position.
Yeah, I've seen the studies on this as far as memory foam, as far as changing positions, that, if you are one that changes positions often, memory foam is not the mattress for you, because,
it cradles you.
Right.
So imagine sleeping on your back and you've got this beautifully cradled position, forgetting about the heat issue. Now you move to your side, guess what? That cradle is not responding instantly. So you're going to be on your side in a cradle that was designed for your back. You're going to be inherently uncomfortable, and now you're going to start that famous tossing and turning.
Exactly.
If you have a significant other in the bed and they invade your space, then you've even amplified the problem.
Sure. That's exactly what I saw. Are there signs, if you're looking at a mattress, that it may break down quickly? Is that a fair question?
Sure.
I mean, how long should we expect the mattress to last, realistically?
So the average person keeps a mattress about a little over 7 years, and that's because of a host of factors. Some of it's breakdown, some of it's because they move, etc.
Sure.
Some of it's change in life conditions. Most mattress warranties are about 10 years. Any reputable manufacturer is using a high quality foam. And so that should maintain itself for a good period of time with certain exceptions. Now, everybody except us uses sheet foam on top of a mattress for the most part. As you constantly lie in that sheet foam, what happens is, and just get a little scientific here, sheet foam is made up of hundreds of internal tiny bubbles that are inside of a matrix. And that's what gives you that sort of sponginess and bounce. You're compressing a little bubble, it's bouncing back at you. Over time, those bubbles, when you press on sheet foam, it shears. What's causing one part of it comes down, one part stationary, one part comes down. In that little shearing area, those internal bubbles start to break. And that's why a lot of mattresses that use sheet foam will start to get a body imprint over a period of time, no matter how good the foam is. And that's why there's recommendations to rotate, there's recommendations to turn, although most mattresses now are one side, so they don't turn. But those recommendations to rotate, so you start moving that body imprint around, that's caused by those micro tears in the foam. You're able to move it around. Now the micro tear will be in a different spot, so it won't bother you. But it all builds up over time.
How would you know if you're getting sheet foam?
Don't buy our mattress. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty much in almost 100% of all mattresses, except for mattresses that are sort of futon based that might just have fiber in there.
Sure.
But any mattress, especially any mattress that's a spring mattress, quote hybrid, or a foam mattress, is just going to have layers of sheet foam. That's how it works. I mean, that's been the state of the art industry up until us.
So you have a proprietary foam, I take it.
Well, we do two things that are different. One, we use a proprietary foam that's a very high-end memory foam-like, in that sort of soft, like luxurious feel. But what we do is we break that sheet foam into literally, and just to give you an average number, 700 individual cushion elements. So what does that give you? So now, where I told you there's that shear between layers in the sheet foam, when you have individual cushion elements, let's say it's something that looks like that. When you press down on one element, it goes down, but it doesn't disturb the other one.
There's no shear.
There's no shear.
I see that.
So we have a substantial improvement of that micro tearing and body imprinting. You don't see the body imprinting, you don't get the micro tearing.
That makes total sense to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't want to get, I'm a big one for getting overly technical, and we could discuss this for hours. I'll try to avoid that.
I thought that was awesome. So let's just talk about these three things. You talked a little bit about the warranty, trial period, return policies. And again, you warned us that if a mattress, they have a lifetime warranty, that it's unlikely that's going to hold out. Anything else to be worried about with trial periods and return policies?
Sure. There's a lot of, there's still store-bought mattresses where you don't get a trial period per se. They'll give you an exchange if you hate it. It comes down to the premise that, you're going to walk into a store. You're going to spend less than an hour jumping on mattresses, lying down in a non-sleep environment, and you're going to pick one that, you think is great. Well, you're about to spend a third of your life on that, and how are you doing it if you're not doing it in your house? So a dirty little secret. It brings up another dirty little secret.
Sure.
Mattresses in mattress stores are designed to be intentionally stiff at the base of the mattress, the foot of the mattress where you sit down, because people go, oh, this feels firm. And then they'll lie back and get it. So
interesting.
It's actually designed for that 15 minutes of test.
Wow.
And we've done, back in the days I was doing that, there were a lot of tests done for consumers that if you gave them a universally uniform surface, they wouldn't like it in a mattress store. They want to get the one where they can bounce down on the foot and it feels firm, and then they lie back and it feels comforting. And it's really not overly beneficial to their sleep, but it's beneficial to selling them the mattress in the store. So you have to be careful. I mean, if you're going to buy a mattress in a store, make sure you buy one that, you can try that for 100 days and return it, no questions asked.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's funny.
Because that's the test. That's the ultimate test is going home and sleeping on it.
Yeah, I got to put in a plug for your mattress. We have one in our basement of our cabin, and the last 5 people who have slept on it had the best sleep they've ever had, and they all 5 wanted to buy one. It's just funny. That's all. I've never had anybody sleep on it that goes, "Oh, that wasn't comfortable." They all, and I don't solicit advice from them or their opinion. They just come up and they go, where do you get that mattress? So it's very interesting.
No, I mean, it goes towards the premise that if I just let them sit on that mattress for 15 minutes,
right,
it'd be like any other thing. I mean, the truth is in this case is in the sleep.
Yep. So we just got to figure out a way to have people try it. So
yeah, and we offer 100-day, no questions asked, and
sure.
People, for some people, it's hard to get your hands around that.
Right.
There are, another potential red flag is there are online companies that everybody online offers something like that.
Right.
But some become rather onerous in trying to return. And one thing we pride ourselves on is not, you have enough customers of yours, I know, that have, or I don't know what you call them, clients or whatever, that listen to you guys. And I don't think you get a lot of complaints that they made it onerous to return it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Very happy. So prices have been going up on everything. So I imagine they're going up for you. What is the cost of a reasonably good mattress now? Like if someone is offering at a certain price, what is a red flag? Like you can't get a good mattress for that price, or
I mean, it's the old saying, Bob, if it's too good to be true, it is.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
If you want to buy a $400 mattress, you're going to get, something you're going to be miserable on.
Sure.
It's going to be low quality foam. There's a probably 95 to 100% chance it's imported, of questionable quality, questionable. I mean, there's understanding that supply chain, nobody does.
That chemical.
So I mean,
issue.
It's that simple. You can buy a $50,000 mattress if you can believe that. I'm not advocating that, but you look around. I mean, a good quality mattress is $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. I mean, that's it. I mean, there are more premium ones, and you'll always get the person that wants the 600 thread count, something from silk this and whatever.
Sure.
I mean, that's all nice, and it might go with your designer, whatever.
Right.
The reality is that $10,000 mattress is not going to sleep you any better. And another dirty secret, as long as we keep you keep bringing them to mind.
I love these.
So imagine you get a mattress that's 16, 18 inches high. And people for a while there, the mattress industry was marketing the thicker it is, the more expensive it is. So I could probably take an 18-inch mattress and fill the first 12 inches with ground glass and put foam on top of it, and you wouldn't know the difference because it's all nonsense. It's nothing in that, the height doesn't, I mean, think about it. What is an extra foot of mattress going to do that I can't do in a foot to begin with?
Sure.
So, it's an interesting, but in order to get more money, people give you thicker, bigger, fancier mattresses, and the prettier the mattress doesn't make you sleep any better.
So let's take it down to this. Let's say I'm going out there to buy a mattress today. What are the main 3 factors I should consider when I'm purchasing?
Sure, and it's a personal decision. So
sure,
obviously you want a mattress that suits your needs for comfort. And it's hard to know what that is unless you've slept on it. So it brings me to automatically you do not buy a mattress unless you can sleep on it 100 days and
Gotcha.
return it, no questions asked. Because what happens in a store or what happens in the first hour is a lot different from what happens after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's one of the reasons why we tell people you can't return it until 30 days, because you have to, your body adjusts.
Right.
And nothing that works at day one. It's sort of like getting a new pup. They're great for day one, but you really don't know their personality for 2 weeks as a dog person. So it's similar for a mattress. You don't know how you're really going to feel for at least 2 weeks.
Sure.
So make sure you get that return capability. I mean, that is an absolute necessity. Another one is the ability to, have a decent cooling mechanism. If you're going to be, maybe it's for you. Maybe you like to sleep super hot. Then you might like a memory foam mattress. But you need to have, again, and only time will tell. Only taking it home, putting your sheets on it will tell if you're going to be able to sleep cool enough or comfortable enough. And the third item, and the biggest item, is what it's doing for your spine, what it's doing for proper alignment. That's what it really comes down to. The older you get, you know better than anybody that more aches and pains.
Yes.
More things are out of alignment. I started at 6'3". I'm now 6'1", 6'1.5".
Sure.
So that means things have shrunk, gone out of alignment.
Right.
So, the bottom line is then you need a mattress that's able to, correctly adjust so that it's not putting excessive pressure on points of your spine, points, shoulder, hips, depending on how you sleep. Even stomach sleepers. So, I would think that would be, ultimately the ultimate point.
Gotcha. Yeah, that cooling is not a minor issue either. I think that's one of the main reasons people have trouble sleeping is they're too warm, without a doubt.
Yeah, you know why? Because if you research it, you'll find that wake-up mechanism, the way your body wakes you up in the morning, is your internal temperature moves up. It moves up very slightly,
right,
but it moves up. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out that if you're sleeping hot, you're already triggering a mechanism that is gonna, it's not beneficial.
Right.
I sleep so cold, I just like sleeping cold. My wife goes crazy, but I particularly like sleeping cold and find I sleep better when I sleep cool. Well,
right.
You first start with the mattress. Forget ambient temperature. If you're sleeping on effectively a heating pad, that's retaining heat, that's going to adversely affect your sleep.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, I've got to say it, Richard, you are a genius when it comes to the mattress business.
I wouldn't go that far.
You are the guy. So thank you so much for taking time to cover these subjects. I think they were going to be very helpful to people, really helpful to me, really explain some things to me. And so go to his website. You can go to sleepovation.com for the adult mattress, and you can go to sleepovationbaby.com for the infant and toddler mattress. So thank you, Richard, for joining us.
Thanks, Bob. It's been great talking with you. Thanks again.